Hello, and welcome to Week 3 of the Diabetes Education Program. My name is Connie Horton, and I am the Certified Diabetes Care and Education Specialist with a nursing background. And today we are going to do Week 3 of the diabetes classes. Today, you will need your Diabetes Basic book and your Goal Setting Workbook. I'll give you a minute to get those out. Hopefully, you've thought about setting goals, and hopefully you're ready to set a goal for today. We are going to set two types of goals. First goal is the person with diabetes will set a goal, and the second goal is going to be a family goal. The family member who is supporting you will set a goal that will help you achieve your goal and help support you. Taking care of diabetes often means making lifestyle changes. In order to make these changes, you must develop new behaviors that can be very challenging at times, and goal setting helps us overcome these challenges and helps us to be more mindful of our actions and behaviors and helps us focus on our successes. If you'll turn to page 60 in the book, you will see it talks about goals being practical, measurable, and realistic. Being successful in meeting goals is important in staying motivated. It also helps you to continue to work toward a goal and setting new goals. The smartest goals are ones that you can do 4 or more days each week, and you can know the moment you've been successful each day. So, on page 60 in your book, we talked about goals being practical, measurable, and realistic. Practical means it needs to fit into your life. Measurable means you will know that you have achieved it, and realistic means it needs to be doable. These are often called SMART goals as well. There's an acronym for SMART goals. It is being specific in your goals, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time-bound. On page 60 in your book, you will notice that there are some goals that have been written out in the book. On the left-hand side are the practical, measurable goals and realistic goals. On the right-hand side are those that are not practical, measurable, or realistic. Let's look at these goals. A practical goal would be, I will walk for at least 15 minutes 3 days each week for the next 3 months. This is going to help you get better in your exercise and activity level. A not so practical goal is, I will jog 3 miles 5 days a week. If you're not currently running at all, this is not a very realistic goal. The next next 3 are going to talk about eating. The first one is, I will include fresh fruit or a vegetable at 2 of my meals each day. Not so practical is, I will eat only healthy foods from now on. That is not measurable. There are no numbers in there to help you measure it. And it's really not realistic because we know very seldom do we always eat healthy foods. Sometimes we don't make the best choices in our eating. The next one, I will plan 1 meal 4 days each week. This is very realistic. It's measurable because there's numbers, and it's very practical. One that's not as practical, measurable, and realistic is, I will plan all my meals for the entire month. This is very difficult to do because things change all the time, so that may be a very unrealistic goal. The next goal, I will eat 10 almonds instead of chips for a snack 4 days each week. This is very realistic. And it's going to help achieve a long-term goal, which might be, I will lose 1 pound this month. That goal is really not practical, measurable, or realistic. It may be realistic, but how are you going to achieve that goal? And so, most people who are successful in their goals break large goals down into smaller sections in order to help accomplish the big goal. Is there a time in your life you set a goal, and how did you manage it? This is when you need to start working on your goals with your family member. You should talk about your goal with your family member. And once you have a goal, you should work together on Session 3 Family Goal Setting Exercise, which is in your Goal Setting Workbook. The exercise is going to help identify a goal to support the person with diabetes. There's a grading scale for family goals. If you don't have a family goal, that is bad. If you remind or help the patient with their goal but have no clear plan, it is okay. A good goal is that you will do a specific action that will be helpful, like schedule check-ins to check with the person to see how they're doing on the progress towards their goal. This would be a good goal. Extra credit is actually doing the goal together. So, let's get started. Get your goal setting workbook out, and let's start on page 1. If you notice, page 1 actually can be torn out of your book because this page is going to be used each and every time we work on goals, which is in Session 3, Session 7, or Session 10. Or you can leave it in your book if you would like. Today we're going to work on Session 3. Session 3, you will look down the page, and you're going to fill this area in once you work through your workbook. So let's start and just look at how this is done. First thing you'll do at the top of the page is set your SMART goal. Next, you're going to mark how often you're working toward the goal. And next, you're going to look at collaborative problem solving and using that exercise that you're going to use to complete your goal and help you set up your family goal. And last but not least, you'll have a family goal that you will write in this section here at the bottom of the page. This is what we're doing in Session 3. In Session 7, we'll do the next column, and in Session 10, the next column. So today we're focusing on Session 3. Now, if you will turn to page 2 in your book, as you see at the top of the slide talks about Step 1, choose a lifestyle goal in one of the self-care behaviors. At the top of page 2 talks about how our goals need to be specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time-bound. Specific goals would be using action words that describe what you're going to do. So specifically to say, this is what I'm going to do. Measurable goals. How will you know you've done it? So you should have some numbers in your goal so you can see if you did it as many times as you said you would. Achievable. It needs to be within your reach based on what you're currently doing. So think about what you're currently doing and how you want to possibly increase the number of days you're doing that activity, or possibly increasing your time, or there may be different ways about how to make the goal achievable. Also, we want to make it realistic, so it needs to be within your power to do it and relevant to your life and your values. And it should also be time-bound. It's best to pick something that you can do 4 days each week. So, the first step is to choose a lifestyle goal in one of the self-care behaviors. If you're asking, what are self-care behaviors? That's what's listed here below where it says SMART. There are 6 areas that you can do goals in. The first one that they've chose here is all about our eating and eating better for you foods. So there are 3 examples of SMART goals here that you could use for eating better for you foods. You can choose one of these SMART goals to use as your goal today, or you can create a goal that's more personalized to you. The next section would be physically active. Being physically active is important in increasing our exercise and has to do with our exercise goals. And There are 2 examples of SMART goals here. You can choose one of them, or you can choose your own goal that is more realistic to you. You can also set a goal in taking medications. If you have difficult time taking your medicines, then you might want to set one of these goals. There are 2 examples here of SMART goals for taking medications, or once again, you can create your own goal that's more practical to you. Reducing risk of complications. This may be an area you need to work in as well. You can use the SMART goal that's listed here, or you can create a SMART goal on your own. Healthy living and coping. This is an area we talk about how we reduce stress and talk about sleep, maybe meditation, relationships. There are a couple goals listed here as well that you can use, or you can create one for yourself that's more practical. And then the last but not least, checking glucose. If you're having a difficult time checking your blood sugars or writing them down, you may use one of these goals to help you in your diabetes care. Or you can set a goal that's more reasonable to you. We want to set one SMART goal that's important to you today. And once you set that goal, I want you to write that on page 1 at the top of the column, your SMART goal. Step 2, we're going to rate the importance of the goal. So if you'll go to page 3 in your book, you're going to go there and you're going to circle how important the goal is to you. And there's some questions there to help you figure out how important it is to you. Then we're going to step 3 and rate how confident you are in achieving your goal. Once again, this area will help you fill that part out. And then step 4 is how often you're working toward this goal. So 0 means you're not working at it all. 5 means you're always working toward this goal. This number is going to go under the second section on page 1 in your book that says, how often are you working toward this goal? Then we're going to go to page 4. The family member should ask the person with diabetes these questions and listen to the answers really well before answering the next question. These questions are, how will this goal help you? What will be hard about this goal? How could I make it easier or more fun for you to meet this goal? And what do you expect might get in the way as you work to meet the goal? Answers to these questions may help you to complete step 6. Step 6 is called collaborative problem solving. On page 5 in your book is about collaborative problem solving. Read through page 5 and page 6 in your book and fill out the answers there. Hopefully, this will help you work through and come up with a family goal. And step 7 is where you actually set your family goal. If you notice at the bottom of page 6, we are going to stop here today. So hopefully, now you also have your family goal. Family goal should be written at the bottom of page 1 in that first column where it says your family goal, and you can write it in there. Next week, when you come back to class with your educator, they will ask you what goals you set and what your family goal is. So please be prepared to give those to them next week. So you can work on your goal now, and if you do so, just pause this recording, but please, when you finish your goal setting project, come back because we're going to talk about what we need to do for next week. Next week, we are going to record information in our daily log. You may want to pull your daily log out and look at it and turn to page 20 in your Diabetes Basics book. There are things you're going to record in your daily log this next week. You're going to record your glucose results that you take, what you eat, when you ate it, where you're eating, your physical activity, and any other information you might think is important. On this slide comes from page 20 in your book as well, shows what you need to document. The goal you set can be written in under your goal. So this person's goal was to go on a walk 3 times each week. And the date is written there as well. The other things they've written in, they did a blood sugar before and after breakfast, so they wrote those in. They ate breakfast at 7:30 a.m. And if you notice, they're very specific about what they ate, even the amount of food that they ate. So 1 slice of whole wheat bread, tablespoon of peanut butter, a banana, half a cup of yogurt, and a cup of coffee. They also wrote where, with whom, and how they were feeling. They ate sitting at the kitchen counter by themselves, and they weren't feeling super hungry at the time. The next section shows when they had their snack. At 11:30 in the morning, they had a slice of cake, and they wanted to enjoy it with coworkers. Maybe they were having a party at work. And then at the last part down there at the end always has a section to write your physical activity in. So she walked that day for 20 minutes during her lunch break. These are the things that you need to document in your daily log. So as we end week 3, I just want to congratulate you on setting your goals. Make sure you save your goal setting workbook because you're going to use it again. And then next week, you're going to bring your Diabetes Basic book and your daily log completed for 1 week. You will do your daily log for at least 6 days, hopefully. If you're listening to this later in the week, just do it for the number of days that are left before your next class begins.